Hi, this is Gwen Fox, and today I'm going to do a demo with cold wax. Don't know if you're familiar with cold wax, but let me just do a little bit of an introduction for you. Here is the cold wax. It looks just like Crisco oil or Crisco in a can. So this is wax that I am going to mix with oil paints. You cannot use it with acrylics, but with oils, that's great. So I have, I'm going to do it on paper, and this paper is Arch's oil paper. They've made a paper that you can do oil on this, and it's just super. It stays flat. I don't know what weight it is, but it's great. Here I have all my colors out, and you mix about an equal amount of wax to the color. And the beauty of this is that it does not diminish the color at all. So I'm going to mix this in with the colors, and I'm going to tell you the colors that I have here in just a minute. And look how luscious this looks. I mean, it's a lot of fun. If you've never worked with this, it might be something that you would want to consider. So, I mean, I love it. I think it's a lot of fun. It's very freeing, and it's just fun. I'm going to show you how I do these demos for the simple reason that I know a lot of you have mentioned that you are pretty uptight in the painting, and you want to loosen up. Well, let me tell you, I'm going to show you loosen up today. So this color right here is Titan Buff, and this is not black. This is called Asphaltum, and it's a transparent dark. I love it because it is transparent. Let's see, this is transparent orange. This is Indian yellow. This one is, let's see, this is cadmium yellow orange. This is brilliant green, brilliant turquoise, brilliant blue. So these are the colors, and I have all the colors out here. Now, the other thing is that the tool is different. I don't use brushes, and a lot do. There's so many ways to do this. So this is just one. This is just how I do it. So here is the tool that I use. This is a clean one, and so I'm not going to use it because it's clean. I just want to show you what it looks like, and it's called a Messermeister, Messermeister. And so you can order this on Amazon. It's about $16. But this is what mine looks like. And it's pretty dirty, but that's okay. This is how I work. So here's what I'm going to start out with. This is going to loosen you up. I'm pretty sure you could do something like this with any of your paints. Maybe not watercolor, but you could do this. So now let me just pick this and let me show you how we're going to be very loose, very, very loose. See, I'm not thinking about, oh, I'm going to do a painting. That's not my thought process right now. Okay, now you see, I am not thinking of, oh, I'm going to do a painting here. No, I'm just going for it. Just going across all of it. Let's put a little bit of this on here. A little bit of dark. Now, the one thing about cold wax is that this layer really needs to kind of dry a little bit. So I'm going to move from this to another sheet that I have already done, and it's prepared, and it looks just about like this, except it doesn't have any dark. So let me put this over here, and now we're going to take this and we're going to just go for it. Same concept. We're painting. I mean, we're just having fun. You know what? Consider it the trash can painting day. I mean, and I'm not thinking yet. I'm not thinking about center of interest. I'm not thinking about anything but just moving the paint. Can you see how this would really loosen you up? I mean, come on, this is pretty cool. Now I'm going to start kind of thinking about how am I going to, look at that color. Look at that. I mean, I just think that's gorgeous. So yeah, I'm just doing this. I'm just coming this way. So now I'm kind of thinking about how am I going to make a painting out of this. So, and I'm going to kind of take it across that way. See, they mix different colors in different ways, and it comes out. I just think this is fascinating. Putting on India yellow, and I've got colors on here, so it's making other colors, making that green. I kind of like how that shows through there. So let me get some wipe off here. Now, a lot of times, though, what I do is I scrape off and I just put it in a pile because it's going to make a fabulous brown after I get a certain amount on there. So now let's look at this, because now if I wanted to remove some of this, see, I could just take that and remove that, you know. It's not a very dramatic effect here because I have to be aware of what's underneath it. So there's not very much underneath that. But boy, I like this. I think this area is gorgeous. So let's get some dark in here. Now I'm starting to think shape, starting to think about how this is going to work. Let's see, up here, how do I don't want to, I like this, so I don't want to mess that up, so let's do this over here. Now, I hope you're kind of thinking of how, if you're really precise in everything, that this is going to really help in just having fun. And I'm getting darks on some of the corners because when I pull this tape off, I need that. So let's get some white in here. You can just do so many things. And if you don't like it, it's no big deal. You don't like that, fine. You just kind of get rid of it. Now, I'm not sure that that's what I'm going to do with all of that, but I'm really liking this. I'm thinking shape. And I'm also thinking, okay, is this shape and this shape the same size? And if it is, I don't want that. So my tape is, see, this is what happens. You lose the side of your tape. I think my tape is about here, so that would make that okay. Now let's move to this one and see what we can come up with. Here's my edge of my tape, so I'm going to go here. Let's get some color in this one. Isn't that gorgeous? I mean, that's yummy. Yummy, yummy. Now I'm seeing that, okay, this design, I've got this shape and this shape. That's okay, I don't mind. Let's get a little green in here. Now I'm not keen on this, so I'm going to paint over it and change it. And you could do that, doesn't matter. Let's put some transparent orange over this and see how that does. I'm really going really light, and I like this orange in here, so maybe the nice thing about this is that you can play to your heart's content. And this doesn't look like much until we take it off. That's the beauty of it. Now let's use some of this brilliant blue. It looks more like a grade blue to me, but I just like how the colors mix and you aren't making the colors. You're just mixing them on the paper. Now you can do, look at this, if I mix this up, all of these colors, I've got a whole new color here, and that's really pretty. Okay, now I've got to think about this. I'm kind of liking this, but I'm going to put some India yellow over this. Oh, look at that. That's gorgeous. Love that. That is so cool. I think that's going to be nice. Now, I don't really have a lot of shapes in here, and I'm not really worried about that because it can stand on its own. But if I wanted to have a little shape over here, let's see if we put this over, bring this color on this side, mix it with the asphaltum, which immediately makes it an opaque, because the asphaltum is transparent. And to me, that's kind of a dead color. So I'm going to add on top of that, I'm going to add some transparent orange. And this is just in the oil color, so not liking that. Don't like it. Now I like the fact that I've got a shape in here because it looked a little, so I think my tape is right here. So I'm going to bring that up a little bit so I can have a shape. And see, you never really know what you've got until until you move the tape. So it's kind of exciting. So I'm going to leave that because I like that little bit right there. Now let's get over here to this one. See what we can't do with this. Put a little bit of put this as at an angle and see how it looks. And the nice thing is, if we don't like it, we can move it. Now, let's see. I'm going to go with a little Indian yellow, a little transparent orange, and see what we can't do here. I like this blue just for the simple reason that it is not super bright. The turquoise is pretty bright. Now, my question here is, where do I want my center of interest? Well, I want it right in here, so if I'm going to put this blue, I'm going to have to put it here. And let's make a shape. I'll add a little bit of orange. Now you can see it's coming, but it's certainly not there. Let's add some dark. Let's add a little mystery here. I'm wanting to be careful that I don't put the dark line in the middle. This is just a little bit above. And I want the dark to take me over to this area, so I'm now making a shape that I want to bring out the center of interest, which is right here. So now all of this is really the center of interest, but now let's calm some of this down. Ooh, I like that underneath. Look at that. It's picking that up. I'm going to turn it around because I want to get this. All right, now this has to change. This has to, I think that needs to be darker, but it's got, here's the thing. I mean, I'm doing this as a demo, so I'm going to continue with it, but I should stop now because this is getting too kind of mushy, but we're going to keep going with it, and I'm just going to put it on pretty thick. But if you're doing this and you're at home and you're not doing a demo, then this is better to wait. And so I'm going to consider this one done. This one has a lot of mystery. This one may be done. Give another shape in there. And now let's go to this up here. Let's get some Titan buff in here. I don't know. Gonna have to think on that one. This one, let's get some darks. It's going to be fun to take this off and see what we have. Let's bring this shape over. I don't want to end now at the center of my paper, so I got to be really careful about that. I got to be aware of all of this because that makes a big difference. Maybe I just go all the way over. Always ask the question, what if? What if? What if I do that? I mean, because you're not going to ruin it. I think we all worry about whether or not we're going to ruin something, and we shouldn't. Look at that brown. It's changing. It's beautiful. Okay. Let me see on this because I'm not pleased with this one at all. And usually you have one that's really good and one that's, it's okay. But so what do? Well, you retape it. See, I'm going to pull the tape off of this, but you would retape it and then go back in, which makes it, you're not wasting anything. So now I'm going to take a little skewer here and gonna one with a little sharper edge. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if this one is ready. I know that one's not ready. Kind of like this one. Now let's say that you do too much of this and you don't like it. Then all you do is soften it. And that needs to be softened, so we're going to soften it. I kind of like this one. I like that one, so I'm not going to fool with that. But I'm not sure that that's got enough color. So let's go back in and let's add a little bit more. Going to add some transparent orange because I just want a little bit of different. When you add a color, you might want to add close, like I've got the orange. I didn't just want the orange, so I added the transparent orange, which gave it a little bit different look. So I don't know, we'll figure this one out to see as we do it. Let me, I want to just put a little bit right here. Okay, I think that one's done. I don't know about this one. I think we need to make it a little bit, I like bright, so You may not like bright, so you don't have to do it as much. I'm going to add a little bit of Indian yellow in here. And when you're doing this, don't worry about, what if I put this on? I'm going to not be able to get it back the way it was. Well, you don't want it the way it was. You put something on there for the reason. Now, I think this needs a little bit of brightening. So I'm going to I bet you are just saying, I can't wait to get my hands on some of this stuff because it looks like so much fun. And it is. I just don't like that edge there. So when I want to get rid of something like that, I'm very light and careful with it. So now let's just can just add something there. Still not pleased with this one. What are we going to do with this one? This one is a troublemaker. So, what I do when I don't know what to do, is I just bring in more color. And to me, that's you do things that you wouldn't normally do because it's not working anyway. Why not just have fun and see what you can do? So I think we're going to bring some white in here and lighten this up. You see, it's getting a little thick, and as I say, this is when you should say, okay, I'm done until this dries. And see, I kind of like it when it does that. I think that's just way cool. Not pleased at all with this, but what we're gonna do is take off the tape, because I think I could work with this until the cows come home, and it may not work. Kind of like that mixture. Let's put some more over here. They're working on the roads out there in case you hear something. All right, a little dark. Don't you love that? Look at that color. Oh my gosh, that's gorgeous. See, it really bothers me to leave it when I'm not happy with it. But I'm not going to use the brown because the brown is like, right now, I'm going to pull off. And see, what you can do too is let's do this and see what this does. That adds a design. It's not very apparent. And you don't want to leave it like that. You want to kind of, make some of it disappear. But I like how that brought out that. And this one's just the troubled child. That's all. So, Okay, we're going to take this off. I think we're going to like these two, and we'll like that one. And I don't think we'll like that one, but that's okay. Life isn't perfect. Now I'm going to take, normally I would allow this to dry because you want sharp edges. You do not want edges that are smeared and everything, but if it does get smeared, they can frame this as an oil, which means that you would go to the image. So let's see what we have. This is the exciting part. Okay. You see, one day I'm going to figure out how I should tape this in order to take it off correctly. See already, doesn't that white look good? I mean, I love it. Well, this one doesn't want to come. This one's really stuck. There we go. See, this is the edge you want. You want that crisp, clean edge. And if it goes under, it goes under. It's not the end of the world. All right, now take this one. This is just blue painter's tape and works perfect. Now we just have the tape that goes around, and you're going to see how having it be dramatic is a good thing, rather than being pastel. It would look okay, but dramatic is better, stronger colors. Look at my hands. I got to clean my hands, guys. Getting it all over the paper. It's a mess. Look at those edges. They are so cool. See, this is the exciting part. This is the part where everybody loves because they're saying, oh my gosh, it was a mess. How is that going to work? And now, it may work, it may not work, but you just retape it and paint again on it. It's not wasted. Now we see all of them together as we've gotten the tape off. It makes a huge difference. Now on the upper left one, let's look at that one and maybe get some close-ups of that. This needs some work. It's a little bit boring, but you know what? I love those scratches. I love the lines in that, and I love the transition of the transparency over the dark. So I can see a couple of things that I would do, but it's almost done. Now, let's go to the one on the right. And this is probably the least of the ones that are, done. I've got to do a couple of things on this. But what I do like, I do like how the grid turned out, or that mesh turned out when I put it on with the brayer. And I particularly like on the far left, when I did that mesh, it brought out the turquoise. And that's good because now the eye goes over there as well. But look at the blending of the colors. It's just an automatic thing that happens, and that's pretty darn cool. So then let's go to the lower left. Lower right. This one I love. Look at the dark. It's holding it together, the whole painting together. Look at the richness of the center of interest. It pops. When you want a center of interest to pop, put the dark right next to it. And just look at those colors. The edges are soft, yet the dark also just takes you right over there. I think this was the best one. And then the one on the lower left, I like this one as well. I do think it needs a little work on the right side, but look at the center of interest. Remember, this is when we were talking about if you have an orange, add something else to it to make it kind of not be just boring. So we added, I think, transparent orange in this. So I just like how it looks, and the creaminess of the neutrals on the far left. That's pretty great. So anyway, this is how they turned out, and this is what you can do. And I love having all of these, and it's fun. Give this a try, and this will help you not be uptight. So until the next video, I'll see you then.